Of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Folks, before we get started on today's episode, what I got to do is I got to hang up my badge. It's right here. I went to the ECI Connect meeting in Dallas. I like to hang these badges up in my badge collection, prove to people that I actually go to meetings. But I did do something. I recently took a class on how to operate a drone. And some of you are saying, well, Ray, why the hell would you want to run a drone? Well, because there's an event in the industry that I'm not allowed to attend, but I know they have this outdoor area at the hotel. Very familiar with the hotel. I was there last year until the security guard said I couldn't be there anymore. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly in a drone. And the drone will be high up there and no one ever looks up. And I'll be able to fly it around the courtyard. It can zoom in on people having conversations. I'll be able to hear what they're saying. I could put a whole entire episode together and then show it here on the end of the day with Ray's big giant board. Folks, it's going to be super exciting. I can't wait to actually do that. I got a couple more things I got to work out with the drone. I mean, I crashed it into a tree already. And of course, if I'm going to be above everybody's head at an outdoor function, I want to make sure that the drone isn't really loud. So we're looking at muffler systems for the drones. But anyway, I'll work on that. But today what I want to do is get into this episode. Holy crap. So I hear this rumor that there's a new ERP coming to the imaging channel. And I'm thinking to myself, okay. Well, folks, there's nothing wrong with competition, number one. But I think what intrigued me the most about this story was the fact that there's going to be a new ER parade marching through the imaging channel with the same people out in front of the parade as were out in front of the parade with a product called FORZA. Remember that? And you'll see I have a gentleman over here standing behind a podium. I went ahead and blocked off his face. I have another gentleman here, and I blocked off his face. I blocked off his name, but he's the CEO of a company called Acumatica. And above it, it says the Industry ERP, and they have the logo of the Executive Summit 2025. And I'm looking at this. I'm looking at that other picture. And here's what I'm thinking. Let me just show this to you. Has the failed ERP replacement attempt been apologized for yet? And I just think that's important. I mean, we've already been down this road. We've already been in this parade, right? I said a while back, maybe last year, that maybe the people that were involved with MWAi and FORZA, all the people that were involved with that should get on the stage at the event in the desert and share with all the dealers in the entire industry what exactly went wrong with FORZA. Why didn't it work? Why didn't it replace the ERP of the imaging channel? Why didn't it become the all-in-one everything ERP for the imaging channel? What happened? Why did it fail? Before we start promoting another one. And I get it, competition's good. But folks, I got to tell you something. I mean, you go back in time here. 11 years of failed attempts should equal a valuable lesson. Scottsdale, Arizona, September 12th, 2013. MWAi FORZA represents a powerful choice for dealers in the imaging channel. With the force of SAP and MWAi behind it. Wow, things were going to be so good. We were going to be the all-in-one, do-it-all ERP, MWAi FORZA. Changing the imaging channel. What happened? Well, in 2018, Konica Minolta acquires MWAi Intelligence and FORZA. And folks, what happened since Konica Minolta had it? Well, in October of 2021, office equipment dealer sues Konica Minolta MWAi over alleged FORZA misrepresentation. What happened with that? Well, on April 11th, 2022, dealer gets default judgment against MWAi over problems with FORZA. What happened since then? Well, Konica Minolta US announces agreement to divest ERP solution. That was June 24th of 2024. We're going to be the greatest ERP in the industry. Yeah, we tried it for 5 years, ain't working out. Maybe Konica could bail us out. Konica Minolta tries it for 6 years. It ain't working. We're getting the hell out. In the meantime, dealers are all freaking out about it. Some court cases involved. 11 years of failed attempts should equal a valuable lesson. Legacy versus unproven. I took some notes here. Folks, I mean, think about it. Legacy does everything it's supposed to versus the unproven, promising everything it's going to do. It's going to do. It's going to do. It's going to do. Don't you get tired of hearing that shit? I think you would by now. Proven software versus fantasy software. Financial stability versus underfunded. Conversations based in reality versus conversations based in delusion. Solid business plan versus faking it. I wonder if the new ERP system that's going to replace the old ERP system, a product called Acumatica, is going to have a program called Fake It Till You Make It. Good question, right? Ladies and gentlemen, dealers are asking questions. And as I talk to dealers around the industry, these are some of the questions they're asking. This first question, I got to tell you something. I heard this and I'm thinking to myself, that's a pretty damn interesting question we should have an answer to. Did the BTA lawyer represent the best interest of MWAi/FORZA or BTA dealer members over those 11 years that FORZA attempted to be the new ERP system for the imaging channel? Did the BTA lawyer share the issues involved with MWAi and FORZA? Or was the BTA lawyer always promoting MWAi and FORZA? Have to go back in history and look at all that. I'm not having a conspiracy theory here, but at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the BTA lawyer, who was with the BTA for decades, retires from the BTA and then shows up on the board of the consortium. And we all know the consortium, right? Well, isn't the consortium led by the same person who was out in front of the parade with the old ERP system that ended up going off the cliff? How much did Grey Rock Capital lose on MWAi FORZA? And I'm thinking this question actually came from Acumatica. They're like, hey, can anybody tell me how much Grey Rock Capital lost on the deal, on the last ERP for the imaging channel? Maybe that'll help them decide how they want to actually take this thing into market, you would think anyway. How much did Konica Minolta lose on MWAi FORZA? I mean, you know, we're pretty sure we all pretty sure that they got that thing for like pennies on the dollar, but at the end of the day, you know, they took it on, they had to have sales teams, they were showing up at industry events, you know, those banners they put behind the table at the booth, you know, those aren't cheap. So they had some money involved with that. They kind of ran it for 6 years, and then they divested themselves of it. Well, how was their financial situation on that? That's another thing you'd think the folks at Acumatica would kind of want to know. How many dealers are still on FORZA since Konica dumped FORZA? I would think that the folks over at Acumatica would want to know how many dealers left that legacy ERP to move over to FORZA, only to move back to the legacy ERP. I'm thinking it's more than 1, more than 2, more than 3, more than 4, more than 5, more than 6, more than 7. I mean, holy smokes, folks. The financial structures of all the wannabe ECI replacements, both ERP and DCA. I think the dealers are asking the questions. Let us see the financials now before we get into these organizations that are completely underfunded and don't have the bandwidth. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's important. What are the dealer implications regarding the following things? The legal battles between Obreon Americas and Valsoft. There's a legal battle. I talked about it here on the End of the Day with Ray. How's that going to implicate the dealers, however that thing gets settled? Does Valsoft already own Predictive Insights? And if they do, or Valsoft has first right of refusal, how will that implicate the dealers using Predictive Insights? And folks, the only reason, that's actually my question, and the only reason I'm bringing that up is because the leader at Predictive Insight was on the advisory board of NextEra. NextEra was sold to Valsoft. Was there any kind of prick quo quo in there? I mean, you know, what's going on there? I think it's worth exploring. Again, not that there's a conspiracy, but at the end of the day, everybody would agree that sooner or later, Predictive Insights is definitely going to sell, right? Doing business with an entity which is a collection of underfunded partners. You know, and folks, how will that implicate you? You get in business with a replacement ERP that has a whole bunch of other companies involved. Some of those companies barely have enough money to turn their lights on, and some of those companies might have more money than the other. But at the end of the day, it's a collection of all the companies. If part of that collection fails, how does that implicate the rest that's collected? Something to think about. Not understanding any conflicts of interest between the new BTA lawyer and his father, the old BTA lawyer, now a board member of the consortium. And folks, I want to circle this, and I know that I'm sure that some people are just steaming mad right now. How dare Ray bring into question the BTA lawyer? I'm bringing into question the situation. So you have the BTA lawyer who leaves the BTA. His son takes his place at the BTA. The old BTA lawyer is now at the consortium. What are their interests? What are their interests? Are their interests in whatever new ERP is going to come to the market, or are their interests in protecting the dealers that are members of the BTA? Folks, I cannot be the only one thinking this or asking this. I may be the only one asking it out loud. What have we learned? Millions of dollars wasted by dealers who bought into fantasy. Millions of dollars lost by investors who bought into poor business plans. Continuous press releases about fantasies are great distractions. What's one of my favorite Rayisms? Those who continuously put out press releases are distracting you from the non-release of their last press release. It's a strategy, folks. It's a damn good one, too. Yeah, big old failure on that last press release. Let's do another press release. Folks, I think you really got to pay attention to those press releases, save them, and then go back and see how they ended up. And maybe you'll learn something. I can't be the only one who is questioning the corporate strategy of any ERP company who would follow the marketing strategies of FORZA / MWAi / Konica Minolta. So we had a parade going down there. That parade ends up at the bottom of a cliff. And what are we going to do? We're going to go in another ERP parade for the Imaging Channel. And at the front of the line are the same people that were at the last parade. I guess maybe the people that are in the parade will wear a parachute so they're ready to go off the cliff. What responsibility does our industry's media have to be honest regarding disasters? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really upset with our industry's media, and a lot of you know that. But let's think about this over time. We got Great America in this lawsuit. No one's talking about it. It's an important issue for our industry. Pacific Office Automation, and the most disgusting thing they're involved with, is an issue for our industry. Visual Edge IT and the fact that the BDC lender, I mean, you saw those episodes. My God, it's a disaster financially. Konica Minolta, they're not doing well financially. All covered in FORZA. Where's our industry's media and analysts? They're not on any of these stories, and they were never on the one regarding FORZA. It was me talking to you about that. It was me telling you that Konica will get out of that sooner or later. Sure enough, they did. It was me that was telling you that Great America would get rid of collaborants, and they did. It was me that was telling you Visual Edge is a mess, showing you the 10Qs and the 10Ks. It was me that shared with you that lawsuit involving Pacific Office Automation's CEO. Horrifying stuff, by the way. It was me that was talking about Konica Minolta. I've been challenging our industry's media and analysts. You can't just always share the good news. And we can't allow folks to control the narrative. And those of you that know me also know no one controls my narrative. Whoops, hang on a second. Whatever a dealer does different will be cloud-based. So why not go to the ECI cloud? Ladies and gentlemen, I was at Dallas. I was at the ECA Connect event. And folks, you know, ECI has platforms for manufacturing industry, residential, commercial, distribution, building supply, and office technology. Those other industries, they hired ECI to be their technology company, and nearly all of them are in the cloud. The office technology group, those friends of mine that sell supply and service print equipment, move it into other products, I think we think we're smarter. I mean, we're supposed to be moving into technology. We're going to be IT service providers, but yet we're on an on-premise system. Doesn't that sound a little silly? Because I assure you, if you're a successful IT services company, you're not running around telling your clients to be on-premise. You're moving them to the cloud. Digital diversification is happening in the cloud. But yet our industry, we got to be on-premise. And then we got to hate our on-premise product. And then we got to go out and look for a replacement, which, by the way, will end up in the cloud. Right? Folks, you can't even make this up. Diversification, I get it, ladies and gentlemen. ECI Automate is not perfect. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it ever was perfect. But what I'm saying is it's a solution that helps those friends of mine that sell, supply, and service print equipment manage that print equipment they're selling. And quite honestly, it does it extremely well. The dealers that are getting into IT services, there's platforms out there that you can use to run your IT services business. But folks, there's also connectors between some of those tools that are used to run your IT services business back into eAutomate. But in all reality, I strongly urge that those dealers focus on the diversification, not on the damn ERP system. Get successful with your diversification. And when you're bringing in more revenue than you were in print and you're bringing in all your profit from your diversification, guess what? Through that journey, you'll find the right solution. You'll find the right technology. You'll educate yourself along the way. You know, putting the cart before the horse is just stupid. And our industry went through this. It was an 11-year disaster. Do we really want to do it again? Folks, I got to be honest with you. I think our industry needs to pay attention to this quote of mine that I say every time I end the show. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo. And the status quo I'm talking about is getting in these damn parades, led by the same people most of the damn time, to do something that's not based in a real reality business plan. And what happens? That parade goes right off the cliff. Just something to think about. Tune in Monday. I got an exciting week next week, folks. We got some exciting stuff coming. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday.